Asterisk lifestyle.
I ain't had no choice in this game. I had to boss up. I made profit where you couldn't. Watch the game and understood it. Got a quote to pullin'. Hit a lick on color. Nigga, you turn.
I'm from New York. I was born in Brooklyn and raised in Harlem. That's where I hail from. I was thinking about this one. I've been told I really didn't have a childhood, and I was thinking about this question, and I did. Early on, it was pretty nice. We didn't have anything, but no one had anything. So it wasn't like we were poor knowingly. When I went to junior high school, that's when my life really shifted. I didn't know it was so bad or so rough until I got older, was able to look back on it, because it was normal for me. I was the youngest of 6, and I had 3 brothers and 2 sisters over me. Fatherless home. So I was really raised by my brothers and sisters. My mother, she worked a lot. So everything I learned from them, which was a lot of bad shit, but I thought it was just a way of life. From drugs, to sex, and getting money any way we could. So that started when I got to junior high school. So 6th grade? So that was my childhood. A few years of playing on the street, and after that it was all serious. I was introduced to drugs at that age. So that was my life. I would say life, but that's not really the point or the position I hold today. I had read somewhere, in fact, it was a book, Rowe, Less Traveled, by Peck, I think the author's name was. And to paraphrase, it was, life is difficult. That's a fact. And he was said a few other things, but he ended up saying, once we acknowledge that, then basically, so what? And that's where I actually grew into, after the difficulty of being a father early on, at 16, my first son was born, and nothing but drugs enveloped my life. So after my oldest son, I went on to father 3 others, and I was absent dad. Again, this is what I was taught, and I'm not going to, I'm gonna keep this with black men. We are fed so much bad information, and unless there's a father in the home, we miss a lot of stuff. But we don't know, and you can only deal with what you know. I heard guys say that I was determined that my children won't experience what I did. That didn't register. So I would say the toughest things was first getting off drugs, and then acknowledging the fact that I was a father. It takes more than having them garnish you a check to pay child support. So I thought I was doing something. At least I was doing that, but that was court ordered. So after I got clean, that's when the shit really started happening. So yeah, the hardest things was coming out of that cycle, and then realizing how bad things really were, and that enabled me to move forward and to try to correct some of that stuff. So I really had to retool, relearn. Well, not really relearn, learn what a man is and how black men or black man should move in this world. So I'm grateful for that, but it was difficult. You know, it's really been difficult. Yeah. I knew that didn't have to be my life. Now, I didn't share this, but when I was 13, one brother died from overdose. Another one was shot to death. Another one died from the virus. So I just assumed that this is my plight in life. And what I'm sharing is not meant to impress or depress. It's really just how God has worked in my life and how He has brought me through this stuff. So I was introduced to this group of people that told me I didn't have to live that like that, and there's a better way. So I followed these people, and sure enough, they knew what they were talking about. You know, but then the work started. I had to look at the children that I had abandoned. The guilt set in, the shame set in, because prior to that, I was so medicated. Yeah, I knew I had children, but the feeling of abandonment and longing for them, all that stuff didn't really register with me because I was always high. But once I got sober for a little while, it really got difficult. In that, at 2 years, I was reunited with my baby girl's mother. I moved to Texas, and she had a son. And in dealing with this young man, I got so full of guilt that these are the things I should have been doing with my sons, you know? So then I embarked on a mission to reconnect, to let them know that Dad is real, and I made mistakes, and I'm sorry, and I really would like to be part of their life. So the hard part was in humbling myself to do that and getting the feedback, from the cussing out to I don't need you now, the anger, to see the girls grow up in a way that really had daddy issues, to see the boys not doing the best they could in their adulthood. And I began to work on me, you know. So fast forward, almost 30 years pass, and they're all in my life. You know, that young man that I say son, you know, he had a fantastic father, and he knew what that was. So it was not like I even thought about replacing his father or wanted him to even think that was the case. So I wouldn't, to this day, I don't call him son to his face. But I say all the time behind his back. You know, and that stepson doesn't seem like it's for me, because we have been able to build such a bond that it doesn't feel step at all for me, you know. So I was able to get through it by the hard work and the humbling, and just asking each of those children, adults now, if I could be part of their life. And to a person, they say, yeah. So I learned a lot from that. Really, that when it comes to parenting, it's not about what you give them, you know, other than your time. You know, you don't have to have a bunch of stuff. All they want is to know that they're loved and cared for. And I wasn't able to do that then. But it feels good today. It's not, I don't feel it's a cliche. And it's not for everybody, because some people are just dark, and some people are like pain and morbidity and that type of stuff. So for me, it's treat people the way I want to be treated. You know? Yeah. Be honest. And love. Yeah, love. I don't give advice, man. What I've learned to do is share my experience, strength, and hope. If someone should ask me something, if I haven't been through it, I have nothing to say about it. Because once you give advice, you're responsible for the outcome. And lives have been lost, relationships have been drowned, people turn backs on each other with bad advice. But I will gladly share my experience. Because that way I keep it on the person. And this is what I had to do to get through whatever it was that I went through. It may knock on your door. You may realize that you may be able to wear it. It may fit you. But that's just the way I was able to deal with it and where I am now. And sharing that, they can usually actually see what happened as a result of your experience where you are now. How did it work for you? Yeah. So no advice. There is enough. People, my daughter, they live under the guise of scarcity. There's really enough for everybody. People are actually, and I found, willing to help you and teach you to get to wherever it is you want to go. I'm not going to break this down in by races, but some people, and we know it, actually help each other to get on their feet and move forward. They may all gather in one house, in a communal aspect to help each other so that they all can grow together. Some people, like the crabs in a barrel, you start climbing up and they pull you back down. But if we really look at it, there's enough for everybody. Yeah. Well, like life, relationships are constant as far as the ebb and flow and the changing of attitudes and positions. I've been truly blessed that I've been able to actually work on me. Through all of that crap, I was actually able to obtain a degree in nursing, right? Something that was a dream of mine. But once I was able to put all that stuff behind me and move forward, stop self-medicating, and realizing that I am worthy. I can achieve some stuff. I was able to do that. So the deal is now with the medical condition that I'm experiencing, working on me is a lot, and I'll continue to do that. And my wife is even more. So I think that with the relationship, we're going to always work just so that we all stay together. The dream is never to leave or go anywhere, but I just want this chapter to be as seamless and pleasant as possible. And let's not forget our offspring. Between my wife and I, there's 5 adults, and there's a bunch of grandkids. If there's any truth or willingness to make it a better place for our children, I think that my wife and I are truly working on that, and that feels good. Especially, like I said, considering the past and where we are today. If we can push the ball just a little further, and I really believe that with God's love and help, we've been able to do that. And I think I'm sure we're going to continue to do that. Because the love of family is so embedded in us. It's really rich. you know. And I guess you never stop being a parent. You never stop. It's like I got a taste of it and I love it. You know, I can beat myself up, but kids say leave the past in the past. It's a little hard sometimes when you think about it, especially all the damage that was done. But I think that if we can continue to do what we're doing and working on ourselves, this place, and especially our family, will be in a lot better place than we found it. Yeah. This is my first Bronz talk. Thank you.
Asterix lifestyle.